Welcome to this RSET online session. I am Dr. Ringu Jacob from the Department of Basic Sciences and Humanities, Rajagiri School of Engineering and Technology. The topic of my lecture for today is interference. This topic is from the first part of Module 2 in the Engineering Physics syllabus for the first year engineering students of Circuit branch as per the KTU syllabus 2019. These are the topics I plan to discuss in this session. Interference refers to the effects obtained when two or more light waves of same frequency and amplitude with a constant phase difference combine, and a redistribution of wave energy takes place. As a result, certain areas become more intense and other areas become less intense or dark. As a result, alternate dark and bright regions are formed, and these regions are called interference bands or interference fringes. The necessary condition for obtaining a permanent interference pattern are: firstly, the interfering waves must be coherent. Secondly, the path difference between the waves must be less than or equal to the coherence length. The coherence length is the propagation distance over which a coherent wave maintains a specified degree of coherence. Now let's look at the definition for coherent sources. Two sources are said to be coherent if they emit waves of same amplitude, same frequency, and are always in same phase with each other or maintaining constant phase difference. Next, we move on to the topic thin films. A thin film is a layer of material ranging from fractions of nanometer to several micrometers in thickness. The image to the left shows a thin film of oil on water, and the image to the right shows soap bubble, which is again an example for thin film. Now we discuss about the thin film viewed by reflected light. The figure shows a monochromatic light falling on a thin film having thickness T and refractive index mu. The incident ray shown by AB is partially reflected from the top surface of the film, which is shown by BC, and partially transmitted to the film, which is shown by the ray BD. The transmitted ray is again reflected from the bottom interface of the film, which is given by the ray DE, and comes back to the first medium given by the ray EF. The interference pattern is obtained by the interference between the reflected rays from the top and bottom surface of the film, and it is controlled by the path difference between the two reflected rays. The total path difference between the rays reflecting from the top and bottom surface of the film is given by delta equal to 2 mu t cos r minus lambda by 2. And in general, the total path difference is given by delta equal to 2 mu t cos r plus or minus lambda by 2. Here, mu is the refractive index of the thin film, t is the thickness of the thin film, and r is the angle of refraction. For a film viewed by reflected light, the condition for brightness is given by 2 mu t cos r equal to 2n plus 1 lambda by 2, where n takes the value 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. And the condition for darkness is 2 mu t cos r equal to n lambda, where n takes the value 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. Now I will discuss about wedge-shaped films. A wedge-shaped film, or called as an air wedge, is obtained by placing a very thin object like thin wire or hair on a rectangular piece of glass plate parallel to its one edge and placing another similar glass plate over it. This is shown in the figure below. When light is allowed to fall onto this arrangement, one observes alternate bright and dark straight fringes. This is the experimental setup for viewing the interference pattern using air wedge. In the interference pattern produced by the air wedge setup, the bandwidth or fringe width is given by beta equal to lambda L by 2 mu d, where lambda is the wavelength of the light used, L is the length of the rectangular glass plate, mu is the refractive index of the film between the two glass plates, and d is the diameter of the wire or thickness of the material that is used to produce the air wedge. Knowing the values of beta, lambda, L and mu, the diameter of the wire, that is d, can be determined. When an optical flat, also known as a test plate, and a work surface are placed in contact, an air wedge is formed. Areas between the flat and the work surface that are not in contact form this air wedge. The change in thickness of the air wedge will dictate the shape and orientation of the interference bands. Thus, we can test the plainness of the surfaces. Next, I will discuss about Newton's rings. This is the experimental setup. This is the same as that of the air wedge, but the only difference is that in place of the top rectangular glass plate, a plano-convex lens is placed. If a plano-convex lens of large focal length is placed on a perfectly plain glass plate, a thin air film of varying thickness will be enclosed between the glass plate and the lens. If this is viewed by the reflected monochromatic light, a series of concentric bright and dark rings will be seen. These rings are called as Newton's rings. This can be viewed through the microscope as shown in the figure. In Newton's rings arrangement, a plano-convex lens is placed on a rectangular plain glass plate. So the thickness of the film, here it is air, is 0 at the point of contact of the lens and the glass plate. So when observed by reflected light, this point appears dark. At this point, there is no reflection of light. Hence, the center point is appearing as dark. Now the question is, why the Newton's ring setup is producing circular interference patterns? To answer this, the path difference between the reflected ray and the incident ray depends upon the thickness of the air gap between the lens and the base. As the lens is symmetric along its axis, the thickness is constant along the circumference of a ring of a given radius. Hence, Newton's rings appear circular in shape. Next, we determine the radius of the nth ring. For that, we make use of the figure shown to the left. Here, capital R is the radius of curvature of the lens and small r is the radius of the nth dark ring. In the Newton's rings experimental setup, a thin film is produced between the plano-convex lens and the bottom glass plate. So we make use of the condition for brightness and condition for darkness we derived for the case of thin films. For the case of air film, the refractive index is unity, and for normal incidence, the angle of refraction is 0. So cos r becomes unity. So the condition for brightness reduces to the form 2t equal to 2n plus 1 lambda by 2. And the condition for darkness reduces to the form 2t equal to n lambda. If Rn is the radius of the nth ring, on solving we get 2t equal to Rn square by capital R, where t is the thickness of the film for the nth ring and Rn is the radius of the nth ring and capital R is the radius of curvature of the plano-convex lens. If we choose the nth ring as a dark ring, we apply the condition for darkness, that is 2t equal to n lambda. So Rn square by capital R equal to n lambda. So the radius of the nth dark ring is given by Rn square equal to n r lambda. Similarly, the radius of the n plus kth dark ring is given by Rn plus k square equal to n plus k into r lambda. Now taking the difference of the squares of the radius of n plus kth and nth ring, we get lambda equal to Rn plus k square minus Rn square divided by kr. Now expressing in terms of diameter, we get lambda equal to dn plus k square minus dn square all divided by 4kr. Next, we try to determine the refractive index of a given liquid by using the Newton's ring setup. So instead of using air film, we make use of liquid film whose refractive index has to be determined. So the refractive index of the liquid can be determined by comparing the diameters of the n plus kth and nth ring formed using air film with that of the diameters of n plus kth and nth ring when it is formed using the liquid film. So it is given by the refractive index of the liquid mu equal to dn plus k square minus dn square all divided by dn plus k prime square minus dn prime square, where dn prime and dn plus k prime are the diameters of the n plus kth and nth ring when you are using a liquid film. Another application of interference is in the case of anti-reflection coating. When light falls on a normal glass, it gets partially reflected from the surface of the glass. To minimize the reflection, we make use of the interference of light. For that, first a thin film of material having refractive index less than that of the glass is coated onto the glass material. So the surrounding medium will be having the minimum refractive index denoted by μA, and the substrate onto which the thin film is coated will have the maximum refractive index, which is denoted as the refractive index of glass here as μg. Now, when an incident monochromatic light of wavelength lambda is allowed to fall on the film, it is partially reflected from the air thin film interface, which is denoted by Ray1, and partially transmitted to the thin film. It gets again reflected from the second interface, that is the thin film and glass interface, which forms the Ray2, and the rest of light may be transmitted to the glass. So the Ray1 and Ray2 will interfere. So if we can make a phase difference of 180 degree between them, then the two rays will interfere destructively. The path difference between the Ray1 and Ray2 is given by delta equal to 2 mu t cos r. For the two rays, that is Ray1 and Ray2, to interfere destructively, we apply the condition for darkness, that is 2 mu t cos r equal to 2n plus 1 lambda by 2. For normal incidence, r equal to 0, so cos r equal to 1. So the condition for darkness reduces to the form 2 mu t equal to 2n plus 1 lambda by 2. To find the minimum thickness of the film required to get destructive interference for the Ray1 and Ray2, we put n equal to 0. So 2 mu t equal to lambda by 2. Otherwise we can say T minimum is equal to lambda by 4 times mu. Mu is the refractive index of the material of the thin film. This thickness equation gives the condition for destructive interference only. But we cannot ensure that the amplitude of the reflecting rays are equal. If it is not equal, we cannot say it will be completely become 0. Now for making the reflectance of light as 0, the amplitude of the reflecting rays from the top and bottom surface of the film should be also same. That is, the Ray1 and Ray2 should have the same amplitude. By the previous condition given by the T minimum equation, we ensure that the reflected rays will be exactly 180 degree out of phase. But the amplitudes may not be same. So we use Fresnel equations to find the reflectance from the first interface, that is the air thin film interface. So R1 is the reflectance of Ray1, that is R1 equal to mu f minus mu a by mu f plus mu a all square. Similarly, to find the reflectance of the Ray2, that is the ray that is reflecting from the thin film and glass interface, we again apply the Fresnel equations. So we get R2 equal to mu g minus mu f by mu g plus mu f all square. To find the condition for the amplitudes of the two reflected rays to be same, we apply the condition that R1 is equal to R2. So mu f minus mu a by mu f plus mu a all square is equal to mu g minus mu f by mu g plus mu f all square. On solving, we get the condition that mu f should be equal to root of mu g. If this condition is satisfied, then the reflected ray 1 and the reflected ray 2 will have the same amplitude. For the anti-reflection coating to work effectively, two conditions should be satisfied. The first condition is that T minimum should be lambda by 4 times root of mu g. So if this condition is satisfied, then the two reflected rays will be out of phase by 180 degree. The second condition is that mu f should be equal to root of mu g. That means you have to select the material of the thin film so that the refractive index of the thin film material should be equal to root of the refractive index of the glass or the substrate onto which you are going to make the coating. If this condition is satisfied, the two reflected rays will be having the same amplitude, which gives a perfect destructive interference condition. This is how the anti-reflection coating works. Thank you. For more lectures, please visit the following link.